And with that, I want to welcome Dr. Molly Maloof. Molly, it's great to see you. It's been a while. Molly was our very first advisor on the medical team, and she's a partner to two levels. She's really been raising awareness about the potential for biological observability, or the ability to have closed feedback loops from sensors like CGM, for a very long time. She's a HealthSpan MD, educator, lecturer at Stanford, multi-time founder, and she recently wrote the book, The Spark Factor, and is founder and CEO at Adamo Bioscience. So Molly, I know you have also a ton of other work you're doing, including online courses to help people get control of their health and metabolic health specifically. But anyway, it's been really awesome to work with you for a long time. It's great to have you back on the forum, and would love to hear what you're excited about in the world of metabolic health.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So great to be here, everybody. Let's see. It feels weird. Am I supposed to be on, I'm like seeing my face. Am I supposed to be in front of everyone, or like, it's up to you?
We can all see you. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, weird. So, I wrote the book, The Spark Factor, based off of my medical practice and my work with startups, including Levels. I started using CGM very early, like in 2014. And I remember thinking, this is really important. And I don't know why more doctors aren't using this. And then, I taught at Stanford a course on HealthSpan, and then moved to Austin, and then turned that course into an online course. And really, the book that I wrote was an amalgamation of all these facets of my career, wanting to teach people that underneath cancer, heart disease, diabetes, dementia, not all cancers, but a lot of them, is poor metabolic health, is insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is behind so many different conditions that people don't realize. And it's just it's mind-blowing that a lot of doctors are still practicing this sort of outdated symptoms-based, drug and surgery based treatment protocols for conditions that are so deeply rooted in energy imbalance. And I really wanted to understand, why are people getting sick, and how do people get well? And so I wrote this book, The Spark Factor, and it's largely based on mitochondrial health, and really teaching people about, how does movement improve metabolic health? How do you master your metabolic health with wearable technologies like CGM? How do you measure metabolic health, and what does it mean to measure metabolic health? And then how does stress play a role in this? And this is a really big one for a lot of people. Everyone thinks it's just food and exercise, but stress is such a huge part of insulin resistance. And then there's the environment and toxicity. So, the book is, I think my book, plus if you guys haven't read this book by Christopher Palmer yet, he's, his book on called Brain Energy. Basically, both of our books are explaining that, like, the majority, like 80% of the diseases that we're seeing in this country are preventable and are related to metabolic health, including a lot of mental illness. And so I'm really personally fascinated right now on how the body is basically your hardware and your mind is your software. And so I'm doing a lot more work with my clients on mindset and stress management, and really getting people to use their mind to change their physiology rather than the other way around. So I'm really curious about where you guys are going with your new products, and I want to test out your new products. And I'm just stoked that you guys have been able to have such incredible growth and a huge following.
Awesome. Well, I love the analogy there of hardware and software, because we're experimenting with the same sort of feedback loop where you need both. The hardware is essentially a means to an end, and the experience that we all have is like, it's made better in our software by quality hardware. And so I think that the same thing goes for a good product. So
Totally.
I think Caitlin just mentioned the two books you mentioned, Spark Factor and Brain Energy, were part of our first science book club here at Levels. So we follow this stuff very closely, and definitely, we love all of it. Molly, I know there's like 2 hours of content we could produce here on Friday Forum on Friday morning, but I think I'd love to just kind of focus on where you want us to focus. Like, what is something that you would like Levels to do better or differently, or start thinking about that maybe you haven't seen from us just yet?
I personally don't think that enough people are aware of how, so there's this program called The Faster Way to Fat Loss by Amanda Tress. And it's literally intermittent fasting, carb cycling, and it's like timing your exercise to your metabolic needs for the day. So it's like, it's really employing weightlifting and a little bit of intermittent, a little bit of HIIT training. And it's honestly like a pretty good reflection of what my book recommends, which is people need to build metabolic flexibility and they need to learn how to do that. So I think that people really buy based on emotions and they buy based on superficial reasons, right? So they buy based on fear and then they buy based on how do they want to look. Most people don't really understand or even really want to care about metabolic health, which is really sad. So I think that it would be interesting to have, I think people are looking for like, well, just tell me what I need to eat. Like, what do I actually need to eat here? And I think that you can pretty much give people recommendations based on their, I think that there's a lot that you can do with CGM to like sort of prescribe diets that can help people train their metabolic flexibility more effectively. And the reason why I recommended the fast rate of fat loss is because it's a really effective, very simple program. So I'm just kind of curious, like what is the promise that you guys are going to be giving people with this new product? Like because like, that's really what people want to know is like, what are you promising me as a company? What are you guys going to actually offer me? What am I going to get from doing this? And I think that one of the downsides of sadly optimizing health is that not everybody is like thinking about their longevity like they should, like the biohackers are, but the vast majority of people are thinking, is this going to help me get paid, get laid, or help me lose weight? And so I think that the weight loss path is something that I've always wanted to see you guys really work on more concertedly. And I think it's something that people will always buy. I do think people are catching on to metabolic health, but I think most people are still pursuing aesthetics. And that's one of the best benefits you get from better metabolic health is you just get a better weight. So I would be curious about that. And then I don't know where the government and where the like legality is in this, but I think most people need to know if they have prediabetes or diabetes, and they need to know if they have problems with fasting blood sugar or postprandial blood sugar. And, I think that everybody should be able to do a home glucose tolerance test or a home test that can help you delineate if you actually have metabolic disease. So I don't know if that's something that you need to get approval for, but I just don't think a lot of people know that they have a problem. And I think that the metabolic score that you guys offer is good, but I don't think it translates to real world like data in terms of do I have prediabetes? Do I have a metabolic problem? There's not a connection there. And that's what's missing for me in the app is like, how do you connect this to real world problems that people have or give people the kind of things that they're looking to get from improving metabolic health?
Yeah, these are really great points. And specifically on the needs of the individual, like what people care most about. You're absolutely right. I mean, there are people who indicate that they want to avoid disease, which is kind of a generic statement. But if you get more specific than that, they tend not to care about the illnesses per se that are closely tied to their qualitative needs, like you said, weight loss, et cetera. So weight loss is a huge interest of people that use Levels. There's a huge opportunity for us to really double down there and help people. We've done the weight loss challenge or the wearable challenge for a long time, which has had great results where a CGM is the only real accountability layer. So there's a ton of opportunity there to show people that metabolic health, improving the hardware improves the software, like you said.
Yeah.
On the second piece of that, like it's a really good reminder that this, long term, our objective with the company is to improve health, and the best way to get people's attention is to show them that there is a problem that they need to resolve. To achieve qualitative improvements, but also to improve quantitative risk long term. And it's a little bit tricky for sure. And I know Zach on the call could probably jump in and share some thinking on exactly how far we can go there. But I think I'm excited to continue to make the tool as useful as possible to give people real-time health status and help them understand exactly what that means. And whether or not we can use specific diagnostic labels anytime soon is going to be a bit tricky with a scaled sort of software-driven product. But long-term, I know that is the future of the space, is that we can use the capabilities of technology to massively improve people's awareness of whether they are at risk or are currently experiencing something like prediabetes or metabolic syndrome. So it's a great reminder. Like, we don't want to just kind of follow the lead of previous products. We have to continue to innovate in the space and help help the space adapt to what new software can do.
Yeah.
So Okay, well, we got a packed meeting. I really appreciate you joining, Molly, and please feel free to stick around and check out the rest of what we do on Friday Forum. But I know you're super busy, so if you can't, I just want to say thank you from the whole team. I really appreciate you spending some time with us this Friday, and also just generally being such an awesome partner to Levels over the past going on. It's got to be close to 4 years, like three plus years that you've been in our orbit.
Oh, yeah.
Vice versa.
Well, I'm one of your biggest fans and I want to see this succeed. And so I'm just really excited about where you guys are taking this.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Molly. Looking forward to following everything that you're doing in the space as well.